Welcome to Leather Connect. I am your host Kevin, and today we welcome Marc, better known as Dear Dagger from Australia.
So Marc, is it right? You're all the way in Australia.
I am.
On your website that you're originally German.
I am, yes.
Did you do a move to Australia, or how did you start?
Yeah, I came to Australia about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Just moved here 7 years ago, and been here ever since.
That's
actually
back, similar to Cavalier's Goods. It's really surprising because he's German as well. He made a move to Canada as well 7 years ago. So, and why did you do the move? Is it out of interest of the country or?
It was because of my ex-partner. So there was a relationship happening, so I moved over here.
Okay.
That was the main reason.
Yeah. And why did you start leathercrafting? Because I see that you're how you say, like a digital manager, or how do you pronounce it? I don't know.
Yeah. So in my day-to-day job, I'm a digital designer. So I work for Australia's largest insurance group as a designer.
Okay.
And they're like super conservative when it comes to risk and everything.
Okay.
And when the whole COVID situation started to develop, we had to start working from home full time, very early on in the year. So early February, already started working from home. And it was about 2.5 months in. I just got sort of like cabin fever because we couldn't really go outside. It was like some sort of like partial lockdown. So I just needed a different hobby to just like keep myself occupied and keep my like creative juices flowing. Even though I'm a designer, it's sort of like in insurance, and the team that I'm working on, it's not like a super creative job because it's very systems driven. So one night I just sort of like by chance ended up on, I think it was Little King Good's channel.
Yeah.
Just watched some of his like ASMR videos, and it sort of like just went down a rabbit hole of like Little King Goods, Stock and Barrel, and whoever else I could find on YouTube. And then literally I was laying in my bed. I was like, that looks fun. I think I can do that. So the next day I just went onto eBay and bought my first like leather starting kit.
That's amazing. Yeah, because actually I'm surprised you're only doing it for 1 year average, because the things you make are already like high quality. I saw the last product you made was like a sort of handbag similar project. Yeah. So you must have some undiscovered talents, I guess, to already make such big projects. No, like it's the first time you work with your hands, or?
Well, first time more actively, but when I was growing up, so my dad's a carpenter.
Okay.
So anytime there was something, I don't know, that needed to be done around the house, like renovating, or he had any like little projects that he wanted to work on, we sort of like always helped out. So I definitely know my way around tools.
Yeah.
Which absolutely helps while setting up all this. And then also with the like design background, like designing products and designing my patterns and everything, it's like super simple for me because I'm used to it.
Yeah. And would you ever dare to go full time? I know, of course, it's still very early in the business, but is it something where you see yourself grow in, or is it more you keep it as a hobby?
I feel I was thought about this quite a bit actually, and I feel it's sort of like you have to, if you really wanted to go full time, you in a way have to compromise somewhere when it comes to like quality a little bit. Like I'm really proud that I make everything by hand. Like I don't use any real like power tools or anything for anything really. And I feel like I'm not the fastest crafter, so a wallet takes me quite a bit to do. So just looking at it, I don't think I could pump out enough stuff in a day to live from it at this point. And I don't really want to introduce like sewing machines and those sort of things because I pride myself on doing everything by hand. So I think it's a bit tricky. I would down the track, yes, I would love to in a couple of years, maybe, I don't know. But right now I feel it's really hard to envision that it's going to happen or going to work out.
It would be more than you would see it more as maybe, I don't know, hiring some more people and still doing everything by hand, right? Like, because that was actually another question. You said on your website as well that you don't like sewing machines and all the machines. Like, you take the pride of making everything by hand, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I see, like I started doing like tote bags and everything, and like the clutch I made yesterday. Sort of, I see the appeal of having sewing machine. Like it does take quite a lot of time. Like I found a couple of ways and tricks around. Like I'm just working in a tote bag right now, and I've just bought a different set of punching holes with like wider spacing and smaller holes and everything, just to like speed up the process a little bit for like the stitches that you can't really see. But yeah, I'm not a fan of sewing machines.
But it's really good. Like even though you're only like a novice in the business, let's say like that, still like after a couple of months, you're already making big bags, and so I guess the demand in Australia is pretty okay, no, for you.
I mean, I think that's the beauty of social media. It looks like I'm actually selling all these things and I'm super busy, but it's actually not the case. Like from a business perspective, there's not a lot happening at the moment, which is like, it's good and bad in a way. I feel like luckily I don't have to rely on the income from this business. So it's not a huge deal if there's not a lot of sales and everything. But yeah, I don't know about other crafters, but for me, there's not a lot of sales happening at the moment. So it's not a lot of demand.
Yeah,
so
with me as well. It's a little similar. I'm really happy. Like by the end of last year, I got some more demands. I think for Christmas and the holiday season. But it goes slow, and as well as like you say, like if you have 10 customers waiting, there's no way you can manage to do that. So it's in a way it's better to focus on one project, and when that's finished, take your time, and that's how you can grow, I think.
100%, and I feel this is the way it is right now. Just having an order here and there occasionally, it's much more enjoyable than, let's say, like 3 or 4 weeks after Christmas was super busy for me. Like I had so many orders, so many things to do. Mm-hmm. And that got to a point where it wasn't enjoyable anymore. Like because Christmas was coming up, I wanted to like, and it was just stressful. I wanted to hit the deadlines. I want to make sure everyone gets their wallet or whatever they ordered before Christmas. So in a way, it wasn't really fun. And now it's like I have a few orders, but nothing that it gets stressful, and I can actually spend the time to craft them the way I want them to be and get them to the quality that I want them to be. So
that's great.
It's sort of like a double sword, right?
Yeah. And how is the Australian market? How do the people? You think they are like willing to buy handcrafted stuff, or how is the I don't know, because most of your sellers, I guess, they're still locally, I suppose.
Yeah. So, I actually sold more overseas than locally in Australia.
Okay, wow.
which is quite interesting. Like lots of my stuff went to Canada and the US. So it's almost like, I would say 60-40 split almost in terms of Australia and overseas. But I think in general, yes, Australia is definitely keen on handmade things. I think it's just the whole like the situation of the world that we're in right now. People don't like at the moment. People don't really need a wallet because they barely go out. They don't really need a fancy briefcase because no one really goes to the office. It's like it's a bit weird at the moment, and I notice it myself as well. I craft wallets, but I don't even really use any of my wallets. Even when I go grocery shopping, I just have my phone because it's quick and easier. Right. So so it's hard to find something that works even in these circumstances at the moment.
Mm-hmm. No, but it's amazing that you have customers overseas, because most of the people I interviewed, they mostly start like locally. And how do you get? Is it through social media then that you mostly make advertising? Of course, you're an expert, let's say, in advertising, so you probably know how to get your customers.
I did spend a bit of like paid like sponsored advertising, like do an Instagram post here and there, put some money behind it. But it was more to experiment and see what actually is going to happen. So a few times I targeted specific markets like the UK or Canada or the US or something, to see if it actually makes a difference. And it definitely did. And even with like a small, I don't know, $50 spending on an ad for like 10 days or something, that helps with exposure and reach, which is quite good. So I definitely recommend doing that if you want to grow fast.
Yeah, that's amazing because of course in the beginning you try a little bit of everything. Of course, I got the insights a little bit in advertising as well. Maybe I'm not really good at it, obviously, probably, but I spent, let's say as well, a couple of, let's say 50 euros or something behind it, and it didn't really get the value that I supposed that I was expecting. But it's all a matter of trial and error, I guess. That's how it goes. No?
100%. That's why, like, when you start out, you have to start with like a small budget, and I think it's super important that you nail your audiences. Like, who are you targeting? Like, if you go too broad and you say, I want to target everyone in the USA and everyone in Canada,
it's too much.
Too many people are going to see it, and the people that are going to see it are most likely not interested in leather goods. So you really have to spend some time to define your audiences, and then you should see definitely an increase. And
with what did you use it? Facebook or mostly Instagram then for the ads?
Mostly Instagram for me.
Okay.
I tried Facebook once or twice. I didn't quite like it because I think it's mainly because I personally don't really use Facebook anymore. I just check occasionally, look into some of the groups that I'm in, but that's about it. So my focus is definitely Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome. And types of leather. I see you have some different wallets. So mostly minimalistic front pocket wallets. What is your like desired types of leather you work with?
I think pretty much like every craft that it started in the last year. Started sort of like with Pueblo, obviously. I feel like that's the main leather that's everyone been using. And then which is still, I've still got heaps of the Pueblo here, and I still like and enjoy working with it, but I also get a little bit tired of it because I feel like it's been overused. Everyone's using it now. It's like, like everything almost looks the same in a way. I've been using, I really like the Wicked and Craig, the like lace harness, especially the Buck Brown. I haven't found a leather that's just as good. Like, it's amazing. Okay. Obviously, like shell Cordovan, I love shell Cordovan, but it's hard to work with. Do you already
in projects this year?
Yeah, well, not this year. I gave away half a shell of shell Cordovan in my last giveaway.
Crazy.
And I have like the tiniest little bit. I can probably make like this like one pocket card folder out of it. But that's about it. But last year I had a few projects with Cordovan, and it's just, I wish I could. If I'm honest, I wish I could only work with shell Cordovan.
Oh, actually, SDR Handmade, he said the same. Like since he started working with the shell, his business grew like crazy, and it must be like the magical leather. I don't know, like it's really crazy, no?
It's just insane the way it feels like, the way it looks like, and the way you can finish it, like edge finishing, beveling, and everything. It's just mind blowing. So it comes with the price, right?
It's worth its money. Let's say it like that.
100%.
100%. Because in a way, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but you need to take that step to order it, I guess. Because of course it's a big investment, and to be honest, of course now they have all these crazy patterns and colors, and they do a lot of things with it. It's okay, but of course it's very. You need to have a very creative mind, I guess, to create some things out of it. And what was it? Was it like a wallet or something you made, or?
Yeah, I made a couple like bifolds, I think, a couple card holders, those sort of things. Yeah, nothing too wild. Just I feel like even if you have a very simple design and you start using Cordovan, it elevates the product just so much. It's insane.
Yeah. Good to know. I will put the note in that. And I saw as well.
Yeah, and I mean,
no, go ahead.
There's so many. There's so many places now that just sell like a panel. Like there's like two local Australian ones that just sell a panel of shell, which that's how I started out. Just ordered one of those panels and just fell in love with it before committing to like
The
full
big
$400 shell.
Well, I saw, I think Bobrikov, he sells small panels of shell.
I think so.
But I think, I'm not sure, but they look very small to me. Maybe you can manage to get one project out of it. I don't know. So it's a little bit,
it's usually just enough for like a 1 or 2 pocket card holder, maybe the backing of like a bifold or so.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, that's all you get out of it, really.
It's good
but
to
it's still a good experiment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I saw your wallets mostly. Well, your name is Dear Dagger, and your wallets are like Hunter and Miscreaved, and it seems to me like you're fond of forest and outdoors. Is it that's why you pick those names, or? No?
No, I actually not at all. I'm not really an outdoorsy person. I just sit in my room all day, craft away.
Okay.
It's like the product names actually came from when I started this business and I started to like considering selling, or when I was getting to a point where I wanted to name my different products.
Mm-hmm.
I started off with just giving them a number, like a lot of crafts do. Like I think it was mainly inspired by Stock and Barrel. He's got his number, whatever. Yeah. I think Looking Good does the same.
Exactly.
Which I think was like, oh, cool, that's simple and easy. But then my partner, she was actually like, nah, we should stand out a little bit. Like we should do something different. And then we sort of like started, I think it started with the Hunter, and the Hunter came from like Dear Dagger, and Dear Dagger is obviously like a wordplay on like the deer. The deer's like the animal. The deer is sort of like my spirit animal, and that's how we like sort of how this all started. And then we sort of like started thinking about like professions, almost like the hunter, the archer, or sort of like not really professions. Not exactly sure how you want to call it, but hunter, archer, the mystery, and like sort of
try to follow the pattern.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like the pattern that we're going with right now. And so far it works out. I don't know how it works out once we have like 100 products. But right now it works.
Yeah, it looks really good. And would you ever want to go to so many products? Because you speak about hundreds, or you want to stay small?
Probably not. Like right now I'm at this point where I still need to figure out where I want to take this whole Dagger thing. Like, do I want to focus mainly more on custom things? Do I just want to do like off-the-shelf products, without customization? So I don't think I will ever have like hundreds of products, because I already started like phasing, like rotating other products in and out.
Okay.
If I don't like something anymore, I just take it out, because if I don't like the product anymore, I will not like to craft it. So what's the point of having it on the page? So it is a bit selfish, but it's like I want to enjoy it. So
you need to stay true to your own beliefs. I mean, it's not for everybody to grow massively, and some people who stay small sometimes have better quality, I guess. So that's really good. As a creative designer, let's say that how do you get inspired to make new products? Of course, everybody begins with the bifold and the card holders, but like I can assume like the bags you custom design. Like how do you start with that process?
It's sort of like depends on what it is, right? Ideally, you want to start when you start designing a new product. You want to start with the problem, like what's the problem you want to solve. You don't just want to throw out another product that nobody needs, right? So I'm trying to even with like my simple card holders, there's like, before I start designing something, I think about, okay, I want to create something that can hold all the 4 cards that I currently carry with me. So that's the problem that I want to solve. With the bags, it's a bit different, because they're sort of like not necessarily, especially like the smaller clutch bag, it's not necessarily something that solves like an immediate problem, because they are more like a fashion statement almost. Definitely. They're like an accessory. You take them out on, I don't know, if you go out on a night to the town, like go dancing, clubbing and everything, and you just need like another piece of accessory.
Yeah.
But even there, I'm sort of like, I try to find out the category first. So for this bag, I wanted to make like a small compact crossbody bag.
Okay.
With the tote bags, I wanted to have a tote bag that fits everything, that you can take every day wherever you go. It fits all your stuff. So I'm trying to work from there. So if I know what type of category I work in, then it's just like, do some sketches, find some inspiration. I do occasionally like to go to the bigger designers, like your Alexander Wangs, your Prada, your Gucci, just to see, sort of like understand what's trending right now, because I do eventually want to sell the things. So I'm trying to stay sort of like have a look what's trending. Like a couple of weeks ago, I actually went down a like Google search rabbit hole trying to find out what are the bag trends for 2021. Just to understand what's out there and to see if there's something in this market where I can take like a little chunk out of it. And that's sort of how I do it.
That's I started a little bit as well, like, because you mentioned the Google Trends and all those AdWords, and to be honest, I'm of course I'm not really the designer or the website creator, but once I start getting in that rabbit hole, it's so overwhelming and so like exhausting to really find the specific point. So I applaud you for doing that and getting into it and
Mate, I know exactly what you mean. I have the same, like when I start looking at like all the big designer brands, I get to a point where I'm like, okay, they all do this amazing stuff. And then, also the imposter syndrome kicks in where you're like, I'll never be able to do this kind of stuff. So then you get like a little bit frustrated and you just like, I don't know, close your computer, walk away and just not continue working on it. So I think what helps me is to start like a little bit Pinterest inspiration board and just throw everything I like, throw it on the Pinterest board. And then, once I'm done with the researching, looking at other things, I just shut down my computer, go away, look at it the next day to then refine that Pinterest board again, with inspiration, and then, start building from there.
Yeah, I didn't know Pinterest was still a thing. Actually, I thought it was dead and gone, but apparently it's still being used a lot.
No, it's still great for inspiration. I would recommend it.
All right.
It's just easy. Like content may not be like super current and accurate, but it's still super easy to get like a quick overview of what's happening.
It's like a mood board, right? So you just
exactly,
makes sense. You have people that inspire you, except of Ryan or Little King Goods and the typical ones. Maybe some local ones. I don't know. Some people you say these are really inspiring.
Yeah, there's so many people. Like, I mean, obviously I'm one of them. So many people popped up over the last 12 months, which is just insane. But we definitely have a few really good like local ones. We have Integral Leather down in Melbourne. Robbie's doing some amazing stuff. We've got State Leather in Western Australia. He's doing some amazing stuff as well. I think he's just on a break right now. There's Crown and Anchor. He's doing some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And then
we also have in Australia, if you ask me, because you mentioned a lot of them. There's a lot of crafters in Australia. It's really good. I didn't know there were so many.
There's actually quite a few.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a heap. And there's obviously like so many smaller ones that no one, or that recently just started. It's just like, I feel like every day there's a new crafter popping up anywhere.
Yeah. It's definitely a trend now, for sure. A lot of people doing
100%.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I think the number one inspiration also we have down in Melbourne. Have you heard of the Leather Collective?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down in Melbourne. He's running from there, Dylan.
Okay.
I think his business is called Revus Leather or something. I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly. But yeah.
But don't they share like different makers, or is that not correct? They post and
yeah, it's an inspirational account.
Yeah.
So especially in the beginning, like lots of my my inspiration I took from there, because Dylan he's doing a great job to like filter all the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
Really like high quality leather goods. Like some stuff is like really absolute next level that I hope to achieve in a couple of years.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
good inspiration. Yeah. All right. It's the last question, I guess. Is the freedom of the speech moment. So I don't know if you want to share something with the community. Say you're thankful, or I don't know, like whatever you want. It's up to you. So.
I suppose the one thing I really want to say is like, I'm so thankful for this community. I think I've never been part of such a supportive community. Like, in a way, we are all sort of like competitors in their own ways, but then everyone is so eager to help. Like, if you have a question about something, doesn't matter if you're talking to someone who's just started out with like a small Instagram account, or you talk to people like DS Leathergood was like 25,000 people. You shoot him a DM and he still is happy to help out. So I'm really, really like, I love this community. It's a great place to work, and I encourage everyone to get part, like to jump in and be a part of it.
Yeah, the good thing is, I guess, that everybody in the community started from nothing. Nobody is like really the big business, and everybody's still mostly doing it on their own, in their room, in a corner somewhere. So everybody, doesn't matter how many followers they have, they can all relate and they can all see where you come from. You know? So that's really good.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that.
Definitely. Okay, cool. Man. Marc, I thank you a lot for having this opportunity. And I hope you still create a lot more and inspire a lot of people, because definitely you inspired me. And yeah, we'll talk soon, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was a good talk. Thanks, man.
Bye, man. Ciao.
Have a good one.